concerns?
So moved to approve.
Okay, got a motion to approve. Now, I got a second to approve. In the minutes, we had gone through some approvals for funding for administrative fee on a couple of grants with Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith had talked about it, and I know we as a county pay him a fee for grant consulting.
It was two of them on the last two.
Yeah. Black Bayou, I believe, and Glen Allen. I may have mixed up, but it's in here. But I want to change my vote to nay. Yes.
And also mine too, to nay on that. I think it was two of them.
It is.
It is.
You changed your mind.
Yeah. What? Okay.
Mr. You changed yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you change yours to do?
Nay.
Yeah, but what we've got to do is get some clarification on, how that should work, since there's a fee paid for grant consulting. And,
Where is it in, where is, I didn't see it in the minutes, where is it? What number is it?
I'm
she's getting it up now.
Okay.
Well, that was on the special meeting. It was last Tuesday's meeting.
Yeah,
Do we have those
It
minutes?
may not be in these minutes.
it should be in the
You know, we
back.
come back and we met on the sportsplex.
Right.
That's when
Right.
it was, so it wouldn't be in these minutes.
It should be on, it should be attached to it, right? We should have both sets of minutes.
I only have one set of minutes.
All right. Since we're not approving that set of minutes, we'll hold. Is that okay, Bishop?
Yeah.
Is that okay, Supervisor Gordon? All right, anything else for the agenda? If there's nothing else for the agenda, all in favor of approval, show by sign of aye. Any opposed?
One abstention.
Motion carried. Motion carried. I got an abstention from Ms. Brooks.
Okay, go
On
on
the
the
minute.
minute.
Yes, she abstained. Justin Birch.
Good morning.
Morning.
So we have a couple of big announcements, probably the largest one being that beginning June 1st, we'll be opening the Delta Innovation Hub through Delta Compass. So it'll bring incubator space, co-working space, and small business and entrepreneurship training and capital stacks, which is probably the most important to the Mississippi Delta. We're able to do this through some private grant funding. In addition, we've been awarded an additional $20,000 for weatherization within the county. We will be looking to sub-grant that probably the beginning of Q1 of 2024. Last but not least, we were awarded $250,000 for broadband and internet services for the county to begin phase 1 planning for it.
How is that gonna work, that broadband?
So
internet?
we, on the phase 1 side, so we will begin to work with the ISPs that service the county, and then particularly anywhere that's rural, so the entire county, save Greenville.
Okay.
There's a particular focus on Leland, Hollandale, and Stoneville within it. But it will service the entire county. We'll begin to map that out. The state of Mississippi is submitting their grant to NTIA probably in the month of December, hopefully for award in April. If I had to guess, to bet the state of Mississippi will end up somewhere around $15 to $20 million. Our goal through the phase 1 planning is hopefully just to get as much of that as we possibly can.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Lee?
And we're a little bit more focused on the accessibility side as opposed to the infrastructure. The state and the ISPs will handle that. Our main cause will be affordability and then digital access devices in the hands of low to moderate income populations.
Okay.
You talk about phase 1. What do you think the overall cost would be to complete it and timeline, if, you know?
I think that'll be determined through the phase 1. Right now, it would just be speculation.
Okay.
But that's our hope, is to sort of uncover what that would be ultimately, cost-wise. And in sort of my opinion, with the fourth wave industrial revolution, digital's underpinning everything. So especially as we work towards democratizing economies, we will probably be spending a lot of time in our office just sort of spearheading that for the county to ensure we get as much of the funding that's coming down from the
Anyone else?
Yes, going back to the incubator, can you talk a little bit, elaborate a little bit more on that? When you talk about the capital stack, can you just tell us more about that?
Yeah, so on the capital stack side, what we are working on is meeting with the banks and the community development financial institutions, essentially to say, those who are coming before them within their capital stack pipeline, instead of giving them a no, offer them a redirection back to us. So through that referral process, we will actually work with them through small business planning, making sure they have their back of house documents, the registrations, how to use QuickBooks, e-market and capitalization, and essentially work with them also on their credit scores to get them back in a place where we can refer them to the financial institution, and then we can help them sort of navigate those pathways. In terms of what we will offer is anywhere from 6 to 12 months of an incubation period and a co-working space, essentially where we can handhold businesses up to the point where they feel like they are ready for the ask.
And where would this location be?
It'll be in Greenville, Mississippi, so we have signed on a building, and it will hopefully give us the space we need to do makerspace. In addition to makerspace, we're looking to have the co-working offices, and then we are essentially looking at North Star as our small business development plan to sort of get them up to speed.
Okay, the second grant you talked about, that you received funding on,
So that one more, and
the second grant you talked about, that y'all received funding on, weatherization,
Weatherization.
yes. Tell me more about that. Is it for people to receive funding, or y'all just receiving weatherization grant?
Yeah, so we received it, and what we will likely do is sub a portion of that out to community-based organizations who are doing weatherization. So this has a connection back to climate change, so anything that can bring substandard housing up to energy efficiency standards is what it can be used for. Yeah, and it's a little bit more on the micro side. I mean, we all know $20,000 will only go so far.
Okay.
But my hope is around 15 units.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yep.
Any other questions? Mr. Birch, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Sheila Collins, requesting permission to serve alcoholic beverages December 29th at the Hollandale Multiplex Building. Ms. Collins. Need a motion? Jerry? I got a motion.
Second.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
I got one nay. That motion carries. We'll just have to make sure she take care of all the necessary paperwork and get that squared away. Ms. Joanne Perkins Fisher, requesting to serve alcoholic beverages at Washington County Convention Center on December 6th. December
Yeah,
16th.
December 16th.
Right.
The reunions of
What?
Greenville High School,
Okay.
class 1971 to 80, and they're requesting permission to serve alcohol beverages.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
And a second. Got a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? All in favor, show by a sign of aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
I got one nay. That motion carries. Have to make sure that necessary documentation take care with that one as well. Consider approving the memorandum of understanding between the Mississippi River Marathon, City of Greenville, Washington County Board of Supervisors, and Washington County Sheriff Department. So it's normally what we always do every year at this particular event. Any questions or concerns?
Yeah, but what exactly will we be doing? What's MOU saying?
I don't have a copy of it in front of me. But it's pretty standard. It identifies the support they'll get from the county. It's basically the Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
And now they run through the county coming out Highway 82 before they get to the city limits. You'll have service organizations who will be on the road with water stations.
I get it.
I have it.
And
Yeah.
that's good. Any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Uh-huh.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I didn't get a motion or a second.
Right, that's.
So
Moving fast.
moved.
I'm moving fast, huh?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. I got a motion
Second.
and a second.
Benson.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Carter and Ms. Hanson.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Smith?
Good morning, members of the board. How are y'all this
Morning.
morning?
Morning.
Got a couple of things for you this morning. First thing is dealing with the Glen Allen Utility District. Received a request from the engineer Josh Broom on that. They put that project out for bid, and they're requesting an additional $100,000 to meet the bid amount. The bid amount, and let me see where that is in my stack. They're requesting an additional $100,000 for this Carter. Would you pass this along? They have, the current total budget for that project is $300,000. The lowest bid was $327,000. So an additional amount of $74,000 will be necessary to award the contract. And he wants to know, Josh is asking whether or not y'all want to do that.
Good. I've just been recognized.
Also, he said there's a 5% contingency fund during construction. If those were added, 5% of that, the request would be for $100,000.
Okay. You know, we did approve 300, and, so this comes in at 324, you know, even if the.
You have engineering, administration costs of $47,000. The total construction budget is $253,000.
It's something like that, and this is a question, because I did, Mr. Wilkins had called me and told me that it did go over the
Right.
request. And I replied to him saying, and I thought I was right on this, because I think we've run into it before with our engineers. When something goes over budget like that, is there any negotiating that can be done, with that? Am I right about that? At that particular bid, with that particular bid?
The low bidder and the owner can enter into negotiations to try and come under, you know, see if they can trim some of the,
Right.
items off to come at the budget or under under the bid amount.
Oh, all right.
Now, with respect to this, and the bid amount is how much now?
The bid amount was $327,000 was the lowest amount. 327.
And how much is available?
To negotiate it, they did negotiate it.
Okay, so they did.
They had a
approach that.
discussion, and what they wanted to take out, the Water Association said they couldn't afford to not do the 6 grinder pumps. So with that being stated, they would have to rebid the project in order to not exceed the 10% negotiation. So 10% of the bid would be $32,700.
Okay.
So if they can't negotiate an amount that will make a difference for the project, less than that amount. So that's why they are asking the county for additional funds, or they can take completely out. Well, if they take the grinder pumps out, they're gonna have to rebid the whole thing, because it's going to exceed the amount,
Go ahead.
the 10%.
I have a request from the board, I was gonna put some money towards the Glen Allen Park, so I have to just do less there, so I request the board approve the additional funds for it out of my funding on that.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any other questions?
So you're approving?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're approving the additional funding. That's the motion. If there are no more questions, are everybody in favor? Show by sign of aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
All right, the next item is a Chamber School project update. Mills and Mills Architect sent an update on that, and just want to put this in the record that they did reply to my request to provide an update. The project really should be completed within the next 30 days. They're waiting on the ceiling vents to be done.
I was
before-
in that
Okay.
Friday.
The biggest thing that they have to do is the epoxy floor.
Yeah.
And they're waiting until all the construction is done before they touch that floor, so that's the deal on the Glen Allen, Chamber School project. Black Bayou, MCWI improvements, the construction contract update, Mr. Griffin did provide that to the contractor, to the engineer, so that's being executed. and the pre-construction meeting document just for,
You said they have executed the MOU?
the,
I haven't seen the MOU.
the contract document. You reviewed the contract.
Right.
They are waiting on,
The board has executed the contract.
Correct.
All right, subject to receipt of the MOU.
That is correct.
I sent Mr. Moore, an email earlier this morning
I saw that.
asking whether or not that MOU had been executed, because he sent me an email, Thursday or Friday, saying he was forwarding it to Black Bayou, okay?
Black Bayou's, the attorney for Black Bayou is reviewing whatever you sent, and upon receipt of that, it will be presented back to the board for,
Okay.
final execution. Winterville Water Well, order accepting bid from Mid-South Water LLC in the amount of $150,500 and authorizing the execution of contract, subject to review by the board attorney and authorizing the board president to sign the contract. They have provided all of their information relative to the bid for the Winterville. All the bid advertisements were done correctly and all that. They've asked that you accept the bid in the amount of $152,500 from Mid-South Water.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, Mr.
Andrews,
Smith, go ahead, I'm sorry, Tony.
Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
let's go back a second.
Okay.
To the Chambers Middle School.
Yes, sir.
The doors, when are they gonna replace and put me some heavy doors on there, so I won't, so they won't have them chains on the door? And it looks, still like it's looking like it looked, is what I'm saying.
The new double door from the lobby to the gym is in place. They are waiting on,
They ain't in place.
okay, according to number 7 on here, it says
Yes, sir.
the new double wood door from the lobby to the gym is in place, but not yet
Okay.
standing sealed. The exterior door, I think they had to do some welding with that on that.
Okay.
But I'll go down today and check that out
All
and give
right.
you a call.
Do that and, and call me, please.
Okay.
I do have one.
Come on, Lee.
Yes.
I see on the bottom here, you said the exterior lighting, now, was that, we were talking about some additional lighting outside to prevent maybe some, because they had some things taken from down there. Is that included in that, on the lighting? Remember, we was gonna check, I think, with Twin County or whoever it was, we were gonna get some additional lighting down
Entergy
there.
is supposed to be installing that light.
Okay.
The county had to authorize that to be, with your account. I think that's been done.
So the lighting is in, the exterior?
I
Okay.
haven't been down there at night.
Okay.
I'll check with William and get back with you on that. But I know that the county has given the authorization to Entergy to do that. Initially, they were waiting on the power
Okay.
to have, that was before the building had power. Now that all that's in, I just need to do a follow-up on that. We'll take care of that.
Ms. Smith,
Yes, sir.
one more thing. I want to make sure the board clearly understands, to go back to the Winterville issue. You asked us to go ahead and approve funding of how much?
$152,500
For what?
for this is for the water improvements. If you all recall, the Winterville Water Association received money from the Mississippi State Department of Health. They have a water loan that they're doing. And this project was to provide for the purchase of a generator and some other items that the contract did not include. That work has been it's been put out for bid, bids have been received. You will not need to use the total amount of your ARPA allocation, which was $260,000 for Winterville, unless you allow them to use the balance for something else. But there's no need for any additional funding for that, because the bid was $152,500. They determined that the work that was needed for the Winterville project only cost $152,500, so that's what you're approving.
What were they fully funded on?
It was a $1 point million project in Winterville.
Okay,
It was to provide a totally new water well, elevated tower and all that.
okay. This is an addition to.
Sir?
This other thing is an addition to.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. We're good.
Did y'all carry the motion?
No, I didn't.
No,
Thank
So
you, ma'am.
moved.
Thank you.
we got a motion.
I got it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks, anyway. And thank you, Andrew. All in favor of the motion, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Appreciate it.
Okay. The next thing is for the multiplex generator project. This is an order approving contract with Timbo's Construction for the installation of a whole building generator at the South Washington County Multiplex Facility in the amount of $149,922.30, subject to review by the board attorney and authorizing the board president to sign said contract. Here are the 3 copies of the contract for the board attorney to review. If y'all want to approve it, subject to his review, and if he's okay with that standard contract, get back with you all to execute it.
So
And
moved.
On your report, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
On your report, which one does that reflect?
Number 5.
Number 5, okay.
I got a motion. Supervisor Brooks got a second. Supervisor Benson. Any other questions? If not, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. That's unanimous. Ms. Hanson, so Supervisor Gordon, wait for Ms. Seat.
Items 6 and 7 are carryover from the last board meeting dealing with the health department building and the property south of that. You got a report on this one?
You had any comments on that?
At the last meeting, you mentioned that you were gonna get with attorney,
Not,
Merchant.
she
For the board.
has not gotten back to me on that.
Okay, all right. All right, number 8, Golden Acre.
Smith,
Yes, sir.
before you go, I know I got a meeting with her this week.
Okay.
And, we'll see where we can go, hopefully by the next meeting, first of the month, we'll see if we can deal with that.
If you need something from me, just let me know, sir. I appreciate
Is
it.
there any more additional information to go along with that, the paperwork, Mr. Smith?
The
All in there?
paperwork was provided a couple of months ago. The clerk's office pulled the original, well, the deeds, the series of deeds on that property. And then for the building south of it, we provided the information from the Secretary of State's office that gave parcel number, got the information from
What it
the
is.
tax assessor as well.
We just need the information for the record.
Okay,
Yes.
where's the multiplex information, who has it? Did you send?
I just sent it, it's
Okay, who's got the
The
multiplex?
contract,
Mr.
I
Griffin.
have the proposed contract, I haven't looked at it.
Thank you.
But the matter here, the county, it has a reversionary interest in that property, Mr. McGee.
Okay.
And however, the school district now has the deed to it, subject to that reversionary interest. And the school would have to abandon the property or so that it can come back to the county.
Actually, Mr. Griffin, the deed between the school district and the Hollandale Economic and Development Group had a reverter clause in it. And when the property was given to the school district, from what I've read in the minutes or whatever, when Mr. Ernest Holmes was on the board, the property was transferred to the school district for its use.
Yeah, that's always subject to reversionary interest.
Okay, all right.
And see, when the Economic Development District no longer had an interest in it, then it went back to the school district. The school has to indicate whether or not it will retain that property or will, withdraw, abandon this interest so that it can be returned to the county.
Okay. The school district, per the superintendent's office, is waiting on whatever the paperwork is necessary. They have no interest. They simply want to go ahead and move it. The other property with the Secretary of State's office, I don't know if someone has purchased that now, but it was completely available 3 months ago. So we're waiting on, I don't know, I spoke with the clerk. There's a gentleman who has been living in the property. It's his brother's property, but there's no water, light, there aren't any utilities connected to the property south of the old health department. So we're trying to make sure that that the county can get that property at no cost from the Secretary of State's office for parking for the Welcome Center. But all of that information, you all should have all that information for those 2 parcels.
Now, the Secretary of State could simply, transfer that.
Can't hear you.
They're waiting
Secretary
on,
of State can transfer that property by plat.
they're waiting on the official request from the county. Yeah,
Have we made the request?
no.
We all looking at you, Griff.
No. Nobody authorized me to make a request.
Can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we make the request.
Second.
A motion and a second.
That's already been done. Y'all can do it again,
All
but
in
that's,
favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous.
okay, are y'all, we're
And
gonna,
so what property are we requesting?
I'll pull that paperwork, Ms. Hanson, and bring it to your office, but it is the old, you're requesting, the transfer of the old health department in Hollandale.
And we got that part, but the other property is what
The
we're
other
talking
property, I don't know who the property owner is, but that should be a part of your minutes already, because I presented
about.
that
But it was
previously.
not provided in those minutes in the first place. We just talked about the property. We need to know, is there an address for it? We can look.
I provided a copy of the plat that I got and the property card that I received from the tax assessor's office.
Okay.
And all of that's in there.
Okay.
Address, contact information, and Secretary of State's office and everything. I'll email that when I get back to the office, though, not a problem. Golden Acres.
Come on. Well,
Gold-
I know where you're going, come on.
Rolling
Golden
Stone,
Acres,
Mississippi.
Come on.
Golden Acres Water Association, I am waiting on the information from Hooker Engineering. You all selected Hooker Engineering as the engineer for that project. I spoke with Mark Hooker Jr. The project is really complete from my last conversation. I am simply waiting on them to provide the paperwork with the amount and everything that the county needs to pay that particular contractor. I'm waiting on the official bid documents and all of that from Hooker Engineering.
All right, we'll take care of it.
All right. Housing Assistance Program, I emailed some information to you all on this. I emailed something to you guys on the Housing Assistance Program. If you check your email, it gives an order requesting approval of an official board order establishing the program, setting aside the funds that you all approved. Just needs to be in a board order format. I emailed that to each one of you as well as the attorney, clerk as well. If y'all take a look at it to make sure that everything is in order, I will ask that you all place it on your agenda for December 4th for final approval.
Ms.
In
Hanson,
addition to
make sure we
that-
get that on the agenda if you would, Ms. Hanson. Thank you. Thanks, sorry, Ms. Smith.
And that's okay. And this document
you put on the
is
agenda?
your homeowner
What
housing
I told you put on the
assistance
agenda?
activities. This will also need to be approved.
This was the matching of funds, correct? What we're
This was
talking
the
about
fund
now.
from the local consistency and tribal
That's right.
fund, yes.
We approved it.
You authorized that money
Yeah, that's right.
to be $178,000 some odd dollars for that. And this is the document that I sent you via email is the official board order in resolution format establishing that program. And then what I've shared with you this morning is the homeowner housing assistance activities. I shared at the last meeting that the ARPA final rule as well as the interim final rule gives the local units of government the authority to establish programs to provide housing assistance. And in that language, it states that it uses the Home Investment Partnership Program as, for establishing your criteria. So what I've done is looked over the Homeowner Reinvestment Act Partnership Program, looked at relative language, modified it to fit the need of Washington County, and that's what I've just shared with you. There's also an application attached to this that those interested persons would need to complete. They must, all of the language regarding this particular effort or initiative is to identify the most critical and emergency needs as it relates to housing, providing housing assistance. Minor renovations and repairs are not a part of this criteria. If there's a home that's in a condition or homes that are in a conditions whereby it is an inhabitable dwelling, those are the units that will be prioritized. And I've driven from below Glen Allen to north of Winterville, just kind of riding around, and there are housing issues all across this county. And it's really, really, really bad. And at some point, we'll be looking to do what Tunica County is currently doing, they are doing a comprehensive housing proposal to HUD, requesting, funding to address housing issues because it's still pretty bad. Washington County can do some immediate assistance with the $178,000 that you all received from the local tribal consistency fund. And I think that's an honorable effort that you all decided to undertake. But these are the guidelines that we will apply. If y'all have any questions after review that, please give me a call and we'll go over that.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Sure.
I would like to see you use the applicant board meeting. Yes, sir. I got a house man.
What we got in addition, Ms. Hanson?
Mr. President,
Hey,
I'd like to add use tax to the agenda.
use tax.
Use tax?
Use tax, yeah.
Okay. The additional would be the appointments for the, department.
Sportsplex, yeah. Everybody ready for that one?
Yeah.
All right, today's the day we were supposed to go ahead and put together a board to start putting together spring activities for the county. So,
I have a question.
come on with it.
I guess it's more for the for the attorney. Will we need bylaws prior to this board, or the board creates the bylaws, or how does it work?
Actually, what happened is you establish a board, then work with the board to develop some bylaws, to be presented to this board for approval, before they can actually get started. Because you gotta have some policy and bylaws in place, to enable any commission, to operate. Otherwise, you could have chaos. Okay?
That's why I asked the question.
Yes.
Next question I have, so with this commission, will this commission leverage the dollars, or will they have to always come back to the board to get approval? Will we transport money to their commission and they make the decisions, or will this board make the decisions? And those things I think we need to start talking about.
And I do think, and that's a very good question. Generally speaking, the board fixes a budget. The money is always retained until it is allocated as a budget item. The budget the county established a budget for its park commission for them to operate, okay? This board has a right to review their expenses and determine whether or not that ought to be done, especially major expenses. There will be some general operating expenses that will be recurring that they can do, okay? And you'll have one order authorizing that. But major expenses, this board can certainly have some restraints on those.
Go ahead, Lee, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we had already set a line item for this next year at 200,000, and it may exceed that, I'm sure, as we go along, as you establish
Might be
this.
less.
And I think some of those, like I said, the concerns you have, and as we appoint the board, I mean, I think this is gonna be a lot of growing for us and them, just trying to kind of, get this in order. And I think we have to establish a board in order to grow this and move this forward. So, saying that, I'm ready from my point of view.
Okay. Let me say this to the board, out to this board. The first thing is go ahead and establish a board to help us get some activities going on this coming spring. Yeah, we do have money set back in a line item, but my thinking and my conversation, my thought process when I made my selection was to get someone who's for years been organizing youth activities, sports, and basically generating the funds on their own to make it happen through registration fees, through sponsorships, that kind of thing. That's what's in my mind, for them to go ahead and start to organize, come back to this board, and let's have a conversation about any additional funding that they'll need, and they will. But just to go out and open the purse strings, no. Give the board an opportunity to come together, talk, have a conversation, and develop a plan or a strategy.
Would
Well-
this board and and,
They,
that board.
that board will develop a strategy and
Okay.
report back to this board. You know, hopefully after we make the choices today, selections today, we can have a special call meeting one evening and have each appointee to come out and have a conversation with this board.
Yeah,
And we share thoughts, ideas, and conversations.
yeah,
As they go and develop the bylaws, the guidelines in which they'll operate under. But the immediate need is to start planning to have an activity for this coming spring.
well, Carl, that's got to happen really quick now.
Yes.
You talking about having a meeting with them and
Yes.
speaking in it. That's, all that's gotta happen very quick,
You're right.
okay?
You're absolutely right. Anyone else?
Just one other piece. Mayor Simmons sent me a text, and he did bring it to my attention that the city entered into a resolution, a notice of intent to dissolve their park commission.
Have they published that publicly yet?
Well, if they've, it's in their minutes.
Okay.
So-
But now, the Greenville Park Commission has nothing to do with what we're doing.
No, I'm just bringing it to our
Okay.
attention that I think we need to include, start thinking about the municipalities as well. How we going, because we're looking at doing a countywide piece. And so I think we should have some people from the different municipalities on this board as well, if we're gonna make it countywide. And since the mayor has brought it to my attention that they're looking to, they did a notice of intent to dissolve their park commission, I think we really, really need to consider being inclusive of all municipalities so we can have an effective summer in Washington County with sports.
Anyone else? Okay, what we'll do is go ahead and record the recommendation. Lee, you say you're ready?
Hey,
District 1, come on.
I want, my appointee, I'd like to, Chris Bowell. He's the pastor at, Emmanuel Baptist Church. He's had a big impact in the whole Salvation Army, getting that together. And also, he has a history, he pitched for, Ole Miss. He's got a background in sports, very intelligent guy. I think he can have a big, big impact on it. And to be honest with you, a while back, he had asked me, him and some other pastors had talked about if we wasn't gonna do anything in Sportsplex, they would step in. So he has a heart of service, so I think he'd be a really, really good one. For the mayor, Chris Bowell, he's the
He's a pastor.
Yeah. Like I say, he's the one,
Yeah.
he's the one, I think with Hines Church.
Yes.
they got
Sacred
that
Space.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that would be my
Outstanding.
request. Do we need to take them one by one and get them approved, or just all at once?
You gonna have to get them approved whether you do it jointly or on an individual basis, okay?
Let's do them jointly.
Doing it.
Okay.
all that.
All right, Tommy?
My appointee will be Corey Holmes.
Okay.
Everybody knows him. He's, well-established in that area, so he's my appointee.
Okay, Ms. Brooks?
My appointee is Mr. Willie Shelton. He's a Leelander. He's a retired educator. He was in sports. He's a graduate of Mississippi Valley State, and ironically, he brought it to my attention Sunday that he would be interested.
What's his name again?
Willie Shelton.
Willie Shelton.
Yes.
Jerry?
Demetrius Warren, he's a coach at,
Say that again.
he coaches Simmons.
What's the last name?
What's his name?
Warren,
Warren.
One,
Yeah.
What's his first name, you know?
Demetrius.
Demetrius Warren.
Newton.
Yeah.
Okay. And my appointee is going to be Willie Lewis. Willie Lewis.
Willie Don Lewis.
Willie Lump.
Yeah, Willie Don. Oh,
Don't,
Name is Willie Lewis. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, we know him.
So everybody know Coach
We
Lump.
know Coach Lump.
I don't know.
Well, he happens to live out on Ann Drive-In Road in Leland. And he's worked with youth activity in this community for over 30 years.
Yeah, football, he had flag football. He had teams.
Flag football, baseball, organized leagues, raised funds,
Been doing it for a long,
made it happen.
for a long time.
Always raised private funds to make leagues, not a league, but leagues happen.
Okay.
very experienced, very skilled at that. Now, that's 5 names. Now, keep in mind, as we move through, you may want to consider 2 at-large positions,
I think that'd be ideal, that was on my mind.
you know, but let's get it off the ground, get it rolling, and see where we go. Now, I would like to, I don't know about you all, I'd like you all to meet, especially Mr. Lewis.
I think that's a good idea for everybody.
Meet
Have a
everybody.
special call meeting for them to come in and introduce themselves. Very brief, very short, kind of like you did with the appointments for the levy board commission. So you all need to select the date, and we'll see what their availability is to come in and actually just have a conversation with you and give their thoughts and their ideas, and let them go
Well,
in for
I'm
it.
kinda like Tommy, that's something we need to do fairly quick, and we just, like I say, even if we recess this week and maybe one day next week, briefly meet, and we can all meet them and kinda have some communications, and get things started, because it does need to be kicked off, you know, moving forward
Yeah.
fairly quick, so.
Okay.
If, maybe check with, you know, and we can set it at the end of the day, say,
Yeah.
Any day next week is good.
All right, we'll collect all the numbers along with the names and addresses. I have enough the contact information with my appointee. And we'll pass that to Ms. Hansel or Ms. Carter, and we'll make sure we pull that off. Now, one thing, Mr. Attorney, you know, it's already come up about having bylaws and that kind of thing, and we're not gonna reinvent the wheel. We're not gonna reinvent the wheel. We're gonna go and take a set from an organization that's already functioning and tailor it, or have them tailor to what they would like to see.
Yep.
This is not rocket science, so we just need to make this happen, and assure that we have some activity going on this spring.
Let me offer this. The initial thing, I assume you'll do that when they come in here, you give them a charge or directions on where you plan to go immediately and long-term, short-term and long-term goals. right?
Short term, real quick, not
Yes.
long. They'll develop
They'll
long term.
develop long-term.
Okay.
And you give them some short-term directions. yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, now can I get a motion to accept the recommendations? I got a motion to accept. Need a second? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Okay, the ERBR.
Mr. Anderson?
Ms. Hansel. Ms. Hansel.
Good morning. I'd like the board to, have the president to sign, 2 ERB forms for Bridge 280 and Bridge 304, along with any changes that MDOT may have. This is to expedite the, process of, getting the, project approved for advertising.
Where are these actually at?
Winterville facility.
Winterville facility?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, one of them's in District 3, the other's in District 4. This is
So
a bridge.
moved.
I got a motion? I need a second.
Second.
I got a second, Supervisor Benson. And this is the bridge I had a little concern with, you know, this funding was actually approved in the 2022 or 2021 legislative session. 2021 legislative session. We were notified of the award, and it just sit out there, We were given until December 30, well, it was June 31st, we will lose the funding. We got an extension to the end of December.
Wow.
By the grace of God, we didn't lose
Well,
the
by the grace of
funding.
God.
Amen.
But my problem is, it's taken so long to get this done. This should have been done and are completed by now. Both of these bridges, they were both closed. Went out and made repairs to them to get those bridges back open. And they're open right now with the repairs. But the funding is there to replace those.
Well, let's get it.
Y'all gonna let me finish up? But
Call for
with this being in my district, Mr. Redmond,
And also in my district,
and one is in your district,
that's correct.
and my concern is, if it's a late date, once you sign this agreement, now we got appointment coming up in January, and I don't know what's gonna happen. My position every year has always remained the same. I don't wanna sign contracts this late in the season.
Well, I want to get
Nah.
District 4's contract signed, period.
I don't wanna sign contracts this late in the season, because I don't know what's gonna happen. But if whatever the board's pleasure is what we'll do. But it's taken 3 years to get here. And that's ridiculous. I got a motion and I got a motion and a second, go ahead.
No, I just said, nevertheless, it's taken 3 years, but we got it done. So
You haven't gotten it done yet.
let's be.
You've got contracts you've already signed on other work that hadn't happened. Do I need to go down the list?
No,
Do I need to go down the list?
no, sir.
I
like
got a
to-
motion and a second, if there's no more.
Well, let me
call for the
amend the
question.
motion. Also to the motion that the contracts be signed by the end of this board meeting.
I can sign it anytime I want to, as long as you make the order, I'm gonna sign it.
Okay.
You can't tell me when.
Well, that's the
Thank you.
motion. That's the
Please.
motion.
Did you add that to your motion?
Yes.
She
I
can.
made it to.
That don't mean I'm gonna do it. Go ahead, Lee.
I do wanna honor what you wanna do in your district. Do you wanna move forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just want to caution the board as to where we are, so don't be shocked if you come here, you're sitting here a year from now and it's
I
still
think
not
it's
done.
already second.
It's still not done. All I gotta do is carry it. Everybody good?
Yes.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I got a question for Linda.
Come on.
Where are we on the roof on the, convention center? Have they gotten the contract yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna have it, ready for the board and attorney, next week. So hopefully, they can start before, Christmas. We got the pre-construction meeting, talking with the contractor, so.
Are you in contact with the contractor?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you, Ms. Anderson.
All right.
Can you stay for use
And
tax?
thanks, Ms.
The
Brooks.
use tax.
Okay.
Yes, also, actually, I was at another Board of Supervisors meeting last week, and the conversation came about the use tax, and they reiterated that, which I remember saying in MES, that if we're not using the dollars, we can lose our dollars. But, went a little bit more detail that if we're not using the use tax money, what they do is reduce the percentage of what we're receiving. So the concern is, I know that initially, Renzo, we were using some of the use tax on one of our projects, am I correct? To match, it was with the,
No,
we're not using any of the use tax money?
no, not on that. No.
Well, I have a project that I do need done. It's on, in Leland, was leaving out of Leland, the little area between Leland and Elizabeth on Main Street and Broad Street. And I would like to use some of this use tax money to repave that area. It's
Let me-
between Leland and Elizabeth,
A stretch between Leland and Elizabeth, okay.
yeah.
Let me say that, go ahead, Lee.
Could we have an update on the, how much money's in that and what we have used it on?
You haven't-
We use it
You haven't
at
used it.
all, but I don't use it.
The money,
And that?
Yeah.
And then, what's the guidelines for that? What all can we use that on?
Basically, roads and bridges.
roads and
That's it.
bridges. And everybody should have gotten an email as to what that use could be.
Yeah, now, are you wanting to do it in-house, you want to contract it out?
In-house.
Is it a long stretch or is it?
No, it's a small, it's both roads, they're parallel to each other. And when you're leaving out of Leland going north into Lisbon, it's the area, that area is really, really bad. It's really the county. And we just need to rehab that
That's
area.
what I'm saying, so are you looking to try to do it
In-house.
in-house or how?
Well, right now, I'm gonna say in-house,
That's the most
I
efficient
hope.
way.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, pavement.
Yeah.
I have a question. Are those, let me see. Arcola has several roads what they are within the town limits.
Mm-hmm.
Can it be used towards that?
Probably can, but let me say something, let me remind you of something. When this board was asked before about doing Airedale, Esther Street,
Yes, sir.
Sydney Street,
Yes, sir.
you voted no.
Yes,
The
sir.
municipality need
I
to pay
voted
for it.
yes.
Yes,
No,
sir.
you voted no.
No, I voted yes.
Okay,
You said let
check
it
the
go.
records.
Be clear.
But what happened
You check the
was, once
records.
you-
I know how I vote.
Come on, baby. Hold
finished?
on.
But this, I just wanna correct you when you tell me
Are
how
you-
I voted.
Are you finished?
Just correction with you.
Are you finished?
Just as long as you understand
All
how,
right.
don't tell me how I
The
voted.
minutes can speak for
The
themselves
minutes
as
was
to who
very
voted what.
clear. You,
Yes,
But
sir.
what happened,
Come on,
the
Carl.
minutes speak for itself. You are correct. In doing the process, you said let it go, and the board did not take the action because you said let it go.
Let me tell you what's happened since I said let it go after the no vote. The other day, we got $600,000 for those projects.
Yes, sir.
600,000
Yeah, there was.
that
this-
you all said
No.
you weren't gonna do it.
Yes,
So we went out and found the funding.
Okay, yeah.
And now I won't need a motion to accept the 600,000.
I
Great.
thought we've already accepted.
No, you knew we didn't take a motion. I need a motion to accept $600,000 to redo Sydney
So
Street,
moved.
Airedale, and Esther Street in Metcalf.
So moved.
I got a motion. Second. And I got a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. But when the board charged and said you weren't gonna do it, we had to do other things like you may need to do.
Yes, sir. Well,
But if you gon'
Yeah.
all I ask is be
Bishop.
consistent, Bishop.
well, forgive me, Mr. President, that we did not support your project, but this project really needs to be done, as did at the Arundel Street and all of that. But we need to get this done. And
Okay.
if we can do it with this money, let's do it.
We can.
Yes,
And,
sir.
and
Mr. President, the minutes need to reflect the source of the $600,000.
said
State of
Mississippi
Mississippi.
came out of the 2020, what is this, 2023 legislative session.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay?
I did.
And,
I did it twice.
It's possible,
second
Bishop,
time.
with $3 million, yeah. But one thing I want to remind this board of, the asphalt machine is how old?
It's about 7 years old.
Is it
7 or 8
working now?
years old.
It's time to
It's about
upgrade.
7 or 8 years old.
It's been, that asset has paid for itself over and over and over. We've been able to service the surrounding communities. This is a nice sum of money, but it's time to look at putting that money where it's going to deliver some returns.
Mr. President, had we, taken action with the use tax money prior to July of 2023, we could have used it on equipment. But since then, we can no longer use it on any equipment. State law now, they passing and
State.
passing.
What I read the other day said, as long as it's equipment that goes to roads and bridges.
I think you may wanna follow back
I
up on
will,
that.
I will. I
Yeah,
got it
as
on
you
my email
should.
right now,
Okay.
but I will.
Don't we, even, even something like, what Tommy's talking about, do we need a request from
Yes.
Arcola first?
Yes.
That's how it's been, but again, I still stay concerned, and I know it needs to be done, but it just, especially when we start doing stuff in-house, there's just so much stuff in the county we hadn't got complete. But, I was one of them that was against that, against a lot of in-town projects, because we're, just putting off other projects in the county that we hadn't done, and that was my concern about it. I would say if you're gonna move forward with it, I'd get a request from them, but that's me.
Don't it do-
I'll get that request in writing, and, we'll get it done. Cause
Alright.
it needs to be done.
I like to place an order to, to pave the, area between Leland and Elizabeth on.
Is that county? Is that
Yeah.
county?
All this county
Yeah,
on.
all we have to do is get off of the schedule. It's not, you don't have to make a motion. We're
You
just
sure?
positive.
Okay.
Now, do we need to make a motion to take the far as paying for the asphalt out of that line item, or is that just the administrator can take, okay?
You ask so much, and
Well, we've been using so much asphalt, maybe you need to start,
Well,
using that to pay,
it's-
which is slowed down now, but,
we're only able to get a minuscule amount of what we need
yeah,
on asphalt.
yeah.
So we're going through some things right now with
Do we need a
APAC.
motion to say go use for US tax?
Yeah, but the money is there. No, you don't need it right now to buy asphalt. We're still good in that account.
So for clarity, okay, order to repave the area between Elizabeth and Leland
On both roads.
on both roads. And what are
County
the roads
roads.
then?
Both, well, in Leland it's called Main and Broad, but once you leave out the county, it's called Highway something and Highway something.
We can do the
One
county.
is one is old 61 and the other, I can get you the other
Thank
is
you, that helped me.
old 61 and the other is Highway something, not sure.
But
But
we
in
do- we-
Leland it's Main and Broad.
Which
Main
part?
extended.
I'm sorry. All right, y'all, everybody good? Which part, any part of that concrete? All of it's asphalt.
Most asphalt,
Okay. But what's in the county, you won't go ahead and be done, put on the schedule immediately, right?
yes.
Okay. Lee?
Just again, going back, just to say, just like you were talking about, just be consistent with things. Also, I think every project that we've done in the city limits of Greenville or anywhere we've just done the labor now, and the
Yeah,
towns
that's
have
right.
paid for the material.
Right.
That's right.
So just to, you know.
And that was a conversation
When you
then.
do your request, you know, let them know.
Yeah,
you know.
that was a conversation then that the city would have to pay for the material.
Yeah.
City couldn't pay for it. Citizens were still suffering. I asked the entire board to drive down Airedale. I think you drove down it. You can't even get a fire truck or an ambulance down the road. It's so rough. When you can't get emergency equipment to citizens, that's a major issue.
Yeah.
And so we're fortunate enough to get the funding through this past legislative session, and thank you all for accepting that money. We'll go ahead and get the necessary paperwork from the municipalities to start the work.
Yes, sir.
Any other additions? I got Mark, if we don't.
Well, I'll say for
No, go ahead.
striping, we need to get, when it rains on, some of these streets,
Anywhere in the county.
you cannot see,
Guess what happened?
and people gonna have accidents
Okay.
that we are going to be possibly held accountable for.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but
Well, I would, because I couldn't see coming down, what street that is over Bannon on?
Raceway.
Raceway Road. Man, I could not see.
and it was done with the paint, but see, that's why we keep having the conversations about retrofitting the truck that we have.
Well, I don't
Whatever.
care what we gotta do, we gotta do it,
Okay.
so that striping can get done.
Okay.
Because it is sad that we got a county that if it rains, you can't see the edge of the street.
All right, when you notice it, did you call the road department?
No,
All right.
I was
Well,
waiting on this meeting.
Don't do that.
No. I
Somebody could have had an accident.
Yeah.
I have a
Oh,
question.
right, yeah, right.
I'm sorry, Nick, go ahead.
Are we using the same type of paint that the state is using?
No.
I think we need to just move to whatever the state is using
I
for,
agree.
that paint, so we can just go and fix the problem, whatever
We,
it may be.
and I'm gonna go ahead and push the thing about going ahead and find out what the cost is to either retrofit the truck we have, because it's not doing us any good. It's like putting down watercolor, and it just does not hold up. So yeah, we gotta do something completely different. And,
Okay, we saying we gotta do it, but when is it gonna get done?
all I'm gonna do is contact Mark. He gonna get with the equipment committee, which is you and you.
Okay,
All right.
well, it'll get done now.
And we need to check out on Raceway Road and it's around O'Bannon needs some lighting. We almost lost our administrator because we couldn't see, so
That's
there's
right.
some lighting out there along with the striping. And whatever it takes, we rob the bank and get it, just
Hey, Lee.
some lighting.
While we're at this point, I guess, for the engineer, while we're talking about this, and you may wanna do it, you made me think of when you said that, you know, some of these communities I go to in different places, they have the digital speed, you know, right there, and it clocks you, and it sets you know, that would be a good place for them. And also, I would love to, I've had, you know, several complaints down in, Glen Allen, on each end coming into Glen Allen. Would you look into those and see what it would take to get those set? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? It clocks yours and then it tells you what the speed limit is. But that would be a good spot for it too, if you could.
All right. Mark.
Maybe have something next meeting on something, what it would cost to do.
No, we just gotta apply some, for some.
Thank you, Mr. Seer.
It's a lot of fun.
Good morning. How's everybody?
All right.
Several meetings ago, we met and I had a discussion about Delta Health Center. I can't recall can you recall, Mr. Griffin, whether or not you stated whether or not that they were exempt or not? I think you said they weren't.
Systems or centers?
Delta Health Center.
It's a governmental entity, they are our governmental entity, that exempts it. That's
Okay.
right, yes.
All right, so they received a notice of delinquent property taxes. Apparently, this is one that was missed, that they did not have a exempt code on, so we need to do an exemption
Yeah.
for 2021's taxes for them. And I'll get that letter
Yeah,
back.
the statute says that you
Yeah,
can
it-
amend it, and you can amend it to grant that exemption.
Okay.
If it was a mistake.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, well, we
But
need
the
to
board
get
needs
it
to take, the board needs to take in order doing so,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, I need to have, the board's order and a copy of the letter so that we can take it. Once you go back in and code it exemption,
Mhm.
but you're coding it for 2021 I just need to have that for record.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Can I-
Right, Board of
can I-
Supervisors, Mr. President, need to take action.
Can I get a motion, board?
So moved. Second.
I got a motion and a second. Supervisor Brooks, Supervisor Benson. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Social Supervisor Gordon, away from his seat.
Okay.
Anything else, Mark?
Yes, sir. So there are several properties in the name of Delta Health Systems. These are some properties that Delta Health Systems bought end of 2020. They purchased these properties, and since then, they were not marked exempt for 2021 or for 2022. Yes, sir, these are DRMC properties, so these need to be exempt.
How many?
It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Well taken.
5 properties.
All right. Everybody understand? Give me a motion.
When
have
did
the-
they purchase these properties?
2020.
2020. End of 2020, it was in December of 2020, and they should have been marked exempt for 2021.
All the taxes prior to
So moved.
the acquisition.
Yes, sir, they were paid.
I
Yes,
got a
sir.
motion, Supervisor Benson.
Okay, so,
I got a motion, Supervisor Benson. We're gonna get you,
Got
ma'am.
a second too.
who made the second?
I got a second, Supervisor. All right, Ms. Hanson. You had a question, Ms. Hanson?
No, we just need to clear this up. That be clear?
Yeah, but, you know, we've requested it, and I'll be working with the assessor. We're generating a list
Yeah.
of all the assets that's under the Delta Health Systems name, like these clinics. And once we pull that together, we'll be able to share more with you.
But Mr. President and board, you need to understand that these properties were sold in the 2021 sale, so you have purchasers who have paid taxes for these properties, and so now the board is gonna have to. approve-
Reimburse them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's clean that up.
Approve that they're,
Okay,
that they be.
that's fine.
reimbursed.
Could you make that happen so we can come back with the bill of what we got to reimburse? We need to clean all that up.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask this question, so we make sure we got clarity on these properties. Delta Health Center purchased them
Systems,
Systems.
sometime in 2021,
December.
is that correct?
2020.
End of 2020, in December the 28th to be
Okay.
exact.
Prior to the January 1st.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, so they are all exempt 2021 if they were purchased prior to January 1st.
He said all 2020 and earlier is covered, been taken care
Yes,
of.
right.
Right,
What's your
Mark?
question, Ms.? Yes, sir, yes, sir. What's your question, Ms. Hanson?
Ms. Hansel's question is, she just
No,
want
I
to make
don't
sure the
have any
document.
question. I'm
Oh,
looking at you, I'm looking at what you've given them, and I see where there are purchases, and I think I'm clear, the board is
Okay.
going to
Reimburse.
refund these purchases.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm clear.
We just need to make sure we're gonna make that happen as soon as possible, get that cleared up. We need to clear these assets up.
So,
Yeah, this is just a couple of them. There are a number of assets out there that has Delta Health Systems name up, but keep in mind, all of it belongs to the taxpayer.
And the reason that this transpired the way that it did, I believe, is because they bought it so late in 2020. And we don't get deed information until later. And we're required to change that information in our office, and the time may have passed when we could have exempted them for 2021.
But that's fine.
but, I mean,
We'll just get it cleared up. All right. But it's something that we can do, and it all can happen right here within this courthouse, right?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Anything else, Ms. Hanson? You good?
oh, I don't have any questions.
Mark?
Yes, sir.
You good?
I have 2 more items.
Come on with it.
Homestead exemption reinstatement. This is a correction for Homestead. Mr. Kevin Matthews became 100% disabled on 3/6/23 after the evaluation of the Veterans Affairs, and his effective date was when he became disabled was 10/28/22. He should be allowed disability DAV for tax year 2023. Mr. Kevin Matthews.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second. No questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second, Miss Andrea Foster. She was found to be disabled on 9/27/21. She should be allowed disability homestead for tax year 2023.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second. There are no questions. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Hey, Mark, we appreciate you. I hope you all get together, make sure we clear up the indebtedness we have with the refunds.
Okay.
And get all these properties clear.
Your list, I looked at your list that you provided. There are 3 parcels that the county owns in Hollandale that are not on your list. The South Washington County multiplex.
Oh, yeah,
building.
there are actually several properties there. I need
There are
to
3
add
of
to.
those that are not on your list. We need to make sure. And the reason for that is because, when Scott Phillips did the deed, he did it in care of the Chancery Clerk. So the Chancery Clerk is now being billed for property that the county owns. And I brought it to your folks' attention, and I think Monica cleared it up in 2021. But there are 3 parcels that need to be added to your list for the Hollandale
Okay,
multiplex.
thank you.
All right. And Mark, we'll sit down and get together and work up. Justin Birch from the Economic Alliance is putting together a list of properties, and we want to share with him all the properties that Washington County has, even some of the buildings that are occupied, you know, just to kind of put a little feelers out there and that kind of thing. But Mark, I'll get with you, and we'll put something together in order to go ahead and get it to him.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
What's next? Ms. Carter? Did we miss anyone in the audience? No, we didn't. Ms. Carter, you good? Okay. Morning.
We have expended 16.4% of our budget through November 20th, compared to plan of 16.66%. Total receipts deposited November 3rd through the 16th, total $496,833.24.
Wow.
I am requesting board approval of our claims docket totaling $426,726.73.
So moved.
I got a motion?
Second.
And a second. No questions, no comments. Everybody good with claims pay? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Requesting travel for county officials to attend the 2024 MAS Midwinter Conference on January 22nd through the 25th in Flowood, Mississippi, with estimated cost of $6,000 and permission to use the county credit card.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Tasha Banks is requesting travel to attend a mandatory tobacco training meeting on December 6th through the 7th in Flowood, Mississippi, with estimated cost of $500 and to be paid from grant funds and hotel paid in advance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The county engineer is requesting payment in the amount of $21,732.75 to Joe McGee Construction Company for pay number 6 for work done on the Bruce Street Bridge replacement.
Is this the last payment on that?
Yes.
Okay. So moved.
It's
Yep.
the Patterson
I got a
Tucker
motion.
Bridge now.
Second.
And
It's
a
the
second.
Tucker Patterson
All in
Bridge
favor?
now.
I'm sorry, Ms. Whitcomb.
I was just saying it's the Tucker Patterson Bridge now.
All right. Ms. Anderson, you hollering, Ms. Anderson?
We have retainage too. They have $25,000 for retainage. They got some debris at the bottom of the bridge that we hold it.
Back, yeah.
Until everything is done. So it's 25,000.
You good with, you good, Ms. Carter? All right. If there is there nothing else, all in favor of the payment, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Ms. Anderson.
County engineer is requesting payment in the amount of $128,807.58 to IMS for professional engineering services for task order 40 Washington County SAP paving project.
What is that?
Is that
What
the
is
big,
that?
is that the big paving project with Roy Store and all of those?
Correct, sir.
So what you're requesting for is just, the design
Right, for the design.
So
that was
moved.
about 5 different projects, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Where's
So
the design?
moved.
Where's the design? I got a motion.
6 to 1, I
We've
know,
already
oh,
sent it
6
out
to
and,
1.
They're about to start construction.
Okay. All the paperwork in place, Ms. Hanson?
As far as I know.
This,
yeah.
this is a state aid project, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a motion and a second.
Who made the second?
I'll be here.
Brooks made the motion.
I thought we're leaving.
No, no, I was
We
just
made the
asking a
motion.
no, I didn't make the motion, I was just asking a question on it, where
All right.
it was for that,
All right.
so.
Ms. Nancy, hold up, Ms. Okay. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The county engineer is requesting payment in the amount of $15,126.35 to IMS for engineering services for the Washington County Convention Center roof improvement project.
So move.
Second.
I got a motion, a second. What's this 15,000 for, Ms. Nancy?
For the Washington County, roof project that we completed, the design is complete. Right now, we just, getting the contract.
Where's the design? You got it, Ms. Nancy?
We've already bid it. Everything we're submitting has already been bidded out,
That's fine.
and.
Is it turned in? Or you got the design? Because we haven't seen the design. I don't think we have.
Yeah, this year.
Oh, have?
Yes, yes, sir. We've been through the bid process and everything for it.
That's fine. Lee?
Yeah, everything's been, the only problem I have, and it is moving along, but I just never like us paying before, you know, anything started. I like to see it started, you know, but, that's the only problem I have with it. I like for it to get going, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, the design work is done and bids have been taken, it has been accepted and all
Right.
that. But, and I mean, I know y'all are not gonna change your practice, you know, just for me, but I just don't like to see that. I like to see it already started, okay?
Hold on, don't believe Ms. Anderson. Come on. I got a motion and a second. Did I carry that motion?
No.
All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous. Hold on. Ms. Carter?
County engineer is requesting payment in the amount of $15,794.64 to IMS for professional services for task order 23 Fur Road.
All right. That's the bridge work down there. Oh, everything turned in, Ms. Anderson?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
And that bridge is underway, about
So
halfway.
Second.
Jerry twisted my arm and took me down there.
Third, cause that's gonna be named too, man, you know, for,
All right. Let me know.
As long as it's not Jerry Redmond Bridge.
no, I don't need to be known like that, I'm going down.
All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Hey,
That was
Nay
the one
on.
the attorney
Nay.
had some questions about.
What questions you had?
That was way
That was-
That's way back.
March or April.
That's when IMS
You
put
good?
in.
Excuse me?
you good? All that's resolved now, right?
That was way back in March or April.
That's
when I
fine.
had questions.
But it's, all that's resolved right now.
Y'all approved it, yeah.
All right, let me do this one more time.
Man,
Go.
Just say
Yeah, but you know, you can't just duck the answer. If there was an
I
issue
didn't
in May,
duck the answer,
if the
Mr.
issue is
McGee.
resolved, it's resolved.
Ms. McGee, I
Do you
didn't
still have
duck the
concerns?
answers. Y'all approved it, notwithstanding my,
Objection.
reservation.
now let's move on.
You still have reservation? Answer's yes or no.
The board speak through his minutes, Mr. McGee. I'm done with it, okay?
What are you afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anything. I really resent that, Mr. McGee. I'm not afraid of anything. I issued my opinions, and the board approved it despite my opinions. So I'm done with it, so move on. Please, sir.
All in favor, show a sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. That's a 3-2, yeah. Go ahead, Ms. Anderson. Go ahead, Ms. Carter. Are you through, Ms. Anderson? You good? Yeah, motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
Meals and Mills is requesting payment in the amount of $20,560 for the design building invoice for the restroom for the multiplex building.
All right,
So
we got,
move.
I got a motion.
Second.
I got a second. You got the design?
For me about written, I want, I saw some
Design?
designs or whatever, and what stage are we now for get the ready?
Is this part of the ARPA funds
Who's in charge of that?
on the
I
restroom?
don't think Ms. Smith, can you elaborate on that?
What's the question?
Bathrooms, multiplex, Hollandale.
The last action on was that you all rejected the bids because they came in too high. You all rejected the bids for that project. They were too high, you all said they were too high. And the architect was supposed to meet with Mr. Redmond and come up with some changes. I have not gotten those changes from the architect. We're trying to, my last conversation with the architect was that the work that you all last discussed was not of the amount that would even require it being bidded out. I think there was a wall discussed that you all were gonna put up or something.
It was, it wasn't no wall up, it was closing up a door.
Okay,
Door got to be put somewhere else, that's when all of this comes back about the fire code for an extension. That's what they come up about, and, they closing a door and won't open it.
Okay, let me,
exterior door on the building?
Exterior.
let me do this. Evidently, you know, Supervisor Rittman may have seen these plans and had conversation input, but I don't know if anyone else on this board did.
They submitted the plans and specs to the office of the clerk for the board review.
Okay. Right now, the plans
Prior
are
to it being
done and
put
they,
out for bid.
and right now, they want to be paid for the work they've done with the design.
Well, I think the way that the law for payment for architecture services, once the project is put out to bid, they invoice.
Okay, that's what this is.
Right, so,
No,
If-
that's not what the law says.
okay, well, what,
The-
elaborate,
The
please.
law says when bids are received and the low bid is accepted by the board, then the architect or engineer is entitled to be compensated based upon their contract and the value of that low bid.
Well, that bid has not been accepted by the board. The bid,
Right,
the
rejected.
lowest bid was rejected, so are they
Right.
still entitled to compensation?
That's an interesting question.
Okay,
Is they asking to be compensated based upon that low bid?
for the design that they did.
Now, have we abandoned the project, Mr. Redmond?
No.
I got to
Wait, no,
ask
no.
Brad,
Have we abandoned
This,
the bid?
it was too high, and I'm
He
trying to-
rejected it.
It was just too high.
Well, here's the thing, there's always an expectation, and that before we put out bids, the engineer or architect is supposed to do a projection of cost, okay, on a project. Was a projection of cost done on this project?
Yes.
Yes, and it come in way
What was
up,
that
it come in
amount?
way, it was, if, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like 170 or something like that.
It was $175,000.
Yeah, and then it come in way over that, almost double that, and the reason we, correct me if I'm wrong, I know we
Yeah,
rejected
yeah.
it twice.
This was,
Yeah,
right.
we rejected it twice because it come in
It's been put
twice.
out to bid
Okay.
twice.
That's
Then the architect's fee can be based on that estimate of cost, but not on the bid itself.
On the 170,000, or 175, not the actual bid,
That's
because it never
correct,
was accepted.
Because it exceeded
got
what
you.
the architect estimated.
I would say do this, if we're gonna, I'd say hold this and get a number on that 175, because we don't know if this reflects the 175 or the 200, or the 350, whatever it was. And then, is there any, so right now it's at a standstill, they can't come up with anything even close to that number? Okay.
We rebid it the first time. This is the second bid
Yeah.
coming in. And after the second bid came in, that's when they came down and had the meeting. I really, my opinion is just my opinion. I think that what's being designed is overkill for both the kitchen and the bathrooms. And I've shared that with the architect. And I've explained to the architect, but the architect is working for the Board of Supervisors.
Well, hold on.
Can't do that.
What, did this board of supervisors ask this architect to do?
The
Now,
Board of
you-
Supervisors,
Let me finish. You can say overkill, but the board speak through its minutes, and the board has to give some guidance to the architect, okay? And that is the reason why plans and specifications ought to be brought into the board before they are approved, so the board can say this is too much or not enough, all right? This is what we asked for, or So, the question then is, did this board approve these plans and specifications just based upon the architect's design?
Mr. Attorney Griffin, I'm going to reserve a comment in response to that because
You
that's a.
working with the project now?
I am
Mr.
working, well, Mr. Griffin, I told you, I made my statement and gave my opinion. And you responded and you're asking questions relative to another professional's contract with this
No,
board.
no, I'm not asking about the contract. I'm asking what the board, asked this contractor to do.
The board asked the architect to design improvements for kitchen renovations and bathroom renovations. Those plans and specifications were provided to the board. And I don't know whether or not he had any comments received any comments or not. They were provided to the board
Let me see.
and they were
Let me see.
put out for bid.
Let me see.
But you said it was overkill.
That's my personal opinion.
Y'all be careful with that up in here, Griff. All right.
It looks like to me on the, what was the percentage of, what was his percentage on the project?
I'm not really sure.
It
Thank
looks like,
you.
to
It's
me,
okay.
I just done 12%. At 12% on the 175 is $21,000. So that,
What does he
I didn't know
request the
about.
payment
It's
for?
not on my brief.
How much is his invoice?
You know what?
Yeah, so it looks like to me that's probably on the projected,
Trying to keep up
not
with
the actual.
My recommendation as your ARPA program consultant, since you all have questions, would be to table this matter until your next board meeting and request that the architect be
I think
present.
that's wise.
Outstanding.
Make a motion to do that.
All right, I got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We just want to get clarification, that's it.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
He's not here today, but
Okay.
we'll get with you.
All right.
Okay. I
Miss-
want to,
Ms. Griffin, Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
when these type things happen, what is the proper process for the board to approve of what we got, what's going on?
On this particular project,
Yeah, that project, or any project.
On this particular situation, first of all, the board needs to ensure that its minutes are in line with its intent.
Okay.
Secondly, if they are in fact in line with its intent, for instance, if, I tell you a cost estimate is $100,000, and then the bid come in excess of that, you approve the bid, then, as an architect, I would be entitled to be paid based upon the bid, not that $100,000. However, if, the estimate is $100,000, 10% over is one thing, okay? Maybe 15% over what I estimate is one thing. But if it's something that's outrageous, like double what we talking about here, over the cost estimate, then if you reject it on the basis that it substantially exceeds the projected cost, then the architect would be entitled to be paid based upon the projected cost. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And
Okay.
I think too, by next meeting, when he does, we'll have a good understanding if we either can get in line with that and rebid it or not, and then what you're saying, he'll be entitled to the projected cost of that, not the actual bid cost, and if we're not gonna do the project, yeah.
Yes.
Read it
And
already.
so,
Thank you.
Okay. Everybody good? All right, we'll wait for architect to come next meeting. Ms. Carter, come on with it. Oh, come on. I'm sorry, Ms.
just
Grant.
real quick, Ms. Carter. You all had a discussion about the modernization internet use tax, and this is a copy of the legislation that gives the new rules.
Right.
If you look at line item number 150, I think it's 115, on page 238, line 38 through 45, gives that language. And also on page 5, line item 115, line 115 through 122 gives the new law as it relates to equipment.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Ms. Carter.
Requesting that
So moved.
I got a motion
Second,
and a second. So there's 2 days at Thanksgiving, 2 days at Christmas,
and one day at New Year's.
and 1 day at New Year's. If you're giving Christmas Eve, why not New Year's Eve? What's pleasure? All in favor? I got to have a motion to approve?
I made the motion.
I got a motion and I got a second. I got a second.
New Year's Eve.
To do all the dates.
What's the dates again?
Ms. Hart, Ms.
Thursday,
Carter.
Friday of this week,
For Thanksgiving?
yes,
Okay.
December 25th and 26th, and January 19th.
I have no problems. We have wonderful workers. So moved.
Motion is made.
Oh, second.
In a second. Yeah, and second. If there are no more questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Okay, Juvenile Detention Center is also requesting to rehire Jeremy Nash as an employee.
Who is it?
We didn't have Jeremy Nash.
Jeremy Nash.
Any problems with that employee in the past? So moved.
I got a motion? I need a second.
Second.
I got a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I have a request from the coroner's office, and this for travel for Deputy Coroner Stefan Dorsey and LaQuisha Watkins to attend the coroner's 40 hours basic death investigation course in Clovers on December 11th through the 15th. And Matthew Johnson is also requesting travel for December 12th and 13th to attend the training for continuing education hours.
Okay, I got a motion? I need, there you go, I got a second. If there are no other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The Fourth Circuit Intervention Court is requesting approval of their annual license and maintenance for software that's used by the
So
Intervention
moved.
Court for drug court use.
Second.
I got a motion.
Requesting payment in the amount of $1,250 as well.
Y'all good? I got a motion and a second. Supervisor Gord, Supervisor Benson. Y'all good? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I also have the application for the Greenville Christmas Parade, who all wants to participate.
Outstanding. Wash your county vehicles up, make sure they're clean and nice, just don't cover your county emblem. Represent well,
Okay.
our float.
And also Medford, they have theirs that same day.
Later on that day.
Christmas on Deer Creek is December 2nd,
What time?
all day.
When is that?
Christmas on Deer Creek is all day. Starts at 10.
Okay.
December the 2nd.
All right, we don't need a motion, but the application's there if you all decide to participate. All right, that was it, Ms. Carter?
That's it.
Ms. Hanson? It's 10:30.
See if the sheriff got something.
Oh, Ms. Hanson now.
Yeah.
They gonna have some.
Okay.
Oh, you mixed? Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You sure? I can go get Barbara.
Yes, sheriff.
I can go get Barbara.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, today, board members, we have from the, tax collector, her September 2023 settlements. That is in the amount of $342,688.19. Those were total collections of ad valorem taxes during the month of October. Needs board's approval.
So moved.
I got a motion
Second.
and a second.
And that
If-
check has already been sent over to Ms. Carter.
If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous, Ms. Hanson.
We have, the, daily cash report for the sheriff's department to be,
Accept.
recorded in the minutes, please.
Move to accept or record.
Yes.
Move to accept.
Accept.
All in favor? I got a second. Give me a second, somebody.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We have received a revised public utilities, roll from the Department of Revenue. They added Columbus and Greenville Railway, and they also added the corporate flight management, DBA Contour Airlines. They were not a part of the original report, so they're now part of it.
We just accepting it.
Ma'am,
Are we accepting this
Yeah,
report?
just need to accept this public utility road.
So moved.
Okay. I got a motion second. We're gonna accept our reports at the end of the meeting, but all in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I'd like to request approval to, spread, documents across the minutes.
Gotta get a motion?
So moved.
And a second. And a second. And a second.
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And here are the minutes from November 14th, when you all were, earlier this morning, you were trying to,
Okay.
you had some concerns about the approval that you made. and,
No, it's two of them.
Yeah. You got enough right there.
You do. We good.
It looked like it was,
All right, I'm gonna give him a chance to review them.
okay.
All right. Chief? Now, we're gonna come back to these minutes once you get a chance to review.
I just wanted to give you all, last time I was here, we asked the request to travel for the sheriff and I, for the conference. The amount of the rooms is $475.85 plus $100 incidental fee, which is $575.85 twice.
So moved.
Got a
I
motion?
think we accepted it, we was just
You
waiting.
did
for
accept
the
that, I just had to
Yeah,
give
yeah,
the,
gotcha.
give the
A
amount.
motion for the adjustment. I got a motion. Need a second. I need a second for the update. Motion and a second for the update. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Chief.
Okay, you're welcome. Also, we're, again, we're back at this building up here, so I have some quotes for some amounts. We already
The one
got
on
the, up there, at old APAC on
Gotcha.
North Harvard Street.
Okay.
So I have some more additional quotes that they bought me.
Outstanding.
I want to know, you know all those, that concrete, I guess where they've been taking bridges down.
Mhm.
When can we get somebody in there to crunch it up? It's a mess up there. People can't work on the building because they got all
Oh,
that
sheesh.
stuff up there.
Okay. That's, he wanna get the old APAC site cleaned off. All right. We'll take a look at it, Jerry. Mr. Griffin, not only do we have the concrete that we've got to have crushed,
Yes, sir.
there is some debris up there we have to kind of get cleaned up. If you remember, there was a boat sunk at the lakefront that we had to remove, and that was several months ago. And it's time for us to dispose of that. It's on county property. What is the process we need to go through? Notification, whatever.
Who owns the boat?
I have to get the name of the person who owns it, that it was abandoned.
Give them notice and opportunity, to remove it.
All right, let me see if I can find that number, that contact information again.
Okay, that, we need to do that in writing.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Once I get it, I'll get it to you.
Get it and we'll draft the letter.
Outstanding. Board good with that? And,
You just record in the minutes, authorizing a letter be sent to the owner to
Okay.
remove the boat, otherwise, you can abandon it. You gonna just have it removed at its cost, or you gonna tear it down and.
well, it fell apart, Ms. Griffin.
Okay, you remove it, you do it.
All right, but it was a navigation hazard, so we had to get it out of the water.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, but we'll get the name and get that to you and attempt to reach the individual.
So is it on the bank now, or where?
It's gone. We removed it from the water. It was a navigation hazard. This board allotted $50,000 to bring in a salvage company.
Like, where is it now?
It's on the APAC property.
That's kind of private?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the county property right now. And there's a request for us to start getting that property cleaned up in order to make sure there's work on this building.
What will the county do if the person doesn't claim it, say within 30 days?
We have to go ahead, it's actually made of aluminum, so we have to take it
Scrap it.
across the scales, I guess.
Sell it for scrap.
We have to dispose of it, yeah. It can't stay, it's in the way right now.
Yes.
And we've got requests from the sheriff's department to get that cleaned up. All right, but I'll get the number for you. Anyone else? Well, we're at the end of the meeting, right? Christmas month. Lee,
Oh,
come on, we're wrapping up. We're going home.
okay, I was just Ms. Hansel handed out.
Okay, this is minutes. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the special call meeting? What's pleasure?
Oh, I still like to send my vote on that.
On which one?
On 4 and 5, and reason being, of course, it was added
funds, added cost. These are ARPA funds, and again, we didn't actually have an invoice. The first number 4 was showing an invoice, for Andrew Smith and the engineer, for 24/5. It wasn't broke down. And then number 5 was $7,000 to Andrew Smith. And I just had some concerns about it being, we're already paying for you to manage that, the ARPA funds, and then we were doing some more
Yeah.
additions on that. So that's my issues with it, so that's why I was rescinding my vote on that.
Okay.
On 4 and 5 to
Understand.
Andrew Smith, not to the engineer, but to the,
I got you.
Well, we need to break down, if you're gonna
yeah, that's right.
take 4, you need to be real clear,
I
because
agree,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah,
in
just,
together.
we need to see the invoice on that first, yeah. So I rescind my vote on 4 and 5 completely until I see the invoice.
It's gonna be all right. Oh. All right. Any comment from the Board of Supervisors? I'm gonna rescind mine as well, but what we need right now is go ahead and take a vote for the rescission, okay?
What you mean, take a vote for
He's
it?
gonna rescind before you accept this,
Oh,
or
okay.
accept these minutes. I'm gonna rescind mine. Now you're about to accept the minutes with the changes.
I was saying that.
Oh,
Okay.
all right, I'm gonna have to let Mr. Smith speak now.
I stand before you for clarity. I heard my name and an amount. What is the issue?
On the 4 and, sorry.
The issue
The
is,
4 and the 5, those two, that Tuesday that we had done.
we had
Hey,
a
we have
conversation
to-
about possible double dipping, Mr. Smith, if you can explain to us your thoughts.
Okay.
We give you a certain amount of money.
Item number 4,
Mhm.
authorizing payment of Heflin Engineering and Andrew Smith in the amount of $24,500 for services rendered and engineering services provided for the Glen Allen water system. Okay, there was an invoice submitted. I think you approved this subject to providing the information, the check authorization form. That's what I stood here and said, because I did not have those invoices, and I did not have the supporting documentation. It's on a reimbursable basis. And I have handed Mrs. Carter this morning a copy of the check from Glen Allen, a copy of my invoice, and a copy of Heflin Engineering's invoice. They cannot, you can't do it without the documentation. I have provided those 2 invoices to the county administrator, as I've done for all of the invoices.
Yeah, I think what the question was, we understand that, but was your additional cost on it, because we already pay you out of that, the ARPA funds
To administer,
that, and then, so
absolutely.
there was 2 different,
This is a
invoices.
sub-recipient, and if
But it's
you,
still coming from the ARPA funds, correct?
absolutely,
Yeah.
so what you are gonna end up doing is canceling all of the MCWI projects and other sub-recipient agreements, because that's additional work.
But it's being paid out of the ARPA funds, correct?
However y'all wanna do it, it's fine with Mr. Gordon. I think that's absolutely wrong. I think it's inappropriate.
Yeah.
But whatever the decision of the board is, you make that decision, and I'll address that.
Yeah,
in a
well,
proper
we're
manner.
not canceling what we're doing for Glen Allen.
No,
or
you're
the
canceling,
engineering.
but you have approved other sub-recipient agreements that include payment for engineering and administrator. When you gave money to Metcalf,
But
Winterville,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Winterville, Golden Acres, you wanna pay everybody except me.
We
But
pay
you're
you.
being paid out of the
You wanna
ARPA
pay
funds.
everybody out of, so you want me to do the extra administrative fees, administrative requirements for the sub-recipient agreements?
We're paying you $170,000 to handle that, the ARPA fund.
Whatever your decision and your vote is, that is your decision and your vote. I will respond to your vote appropriately.
We want to do whatever is right.
I would not have submitted
I'll let you
anything
speak. Let me speak,
To
please.
this day,
I'll
I
let you
have not
speak.
submitted
I'll let
anything to
speak.
you
Let me speak.
that's wrong.
Let me speak.
Okay.
If whatever our attorney looks at, we wanna do what's right and what's by the law of handling these funds. So to me, and when we're already paying out of that fund, if we pay an additional, well, out of $7,000 on one, and I don't know what the other one is, cause we didn't get the breakdown of it. It was just 24 or 23,000, whatever it was. So to me, it's still coming out of the same funding. That looks like that would be double dipping in it. So we'll have our attorney take a look at it, and we don't wanna cheat you out of anything, and we won't.
but we wanna make sure that we're right, and as it appears to me at this moment, it looks like that's what it would be. So I would say that if our attorney looks at it and he says, yeah, we owe this, then I'd be more than willing to say yes.
I have a question.
Allow me to speak, Ms. Brooks, please, ma'am.
Okay.
Every invoice that I have presented to this board for ARPA, Mr. Gordon, you voted against it.
Right.
Your attorney reviewed my contract, and I guess he decided that it was an okay contract for this board to execute. So for you to sit and say if the attorney feels as though it's all right, so I don't believe that to be true, because there's not a single ARPA invoice that I've submitted to this board, so whether, that you voted to approve. So whether the attorney feels as though it's appropriate or not, doesn't really mean anything, in my opinion, as it relates to what your decision is.
Okay.
You make your decision, and your attorney communicates that to me. Attorneys speak with attorneys, okay?
All right, Ms.
Item number 5, she has the information for all of that as well. That's for Black Bayou and Winterville. Those are sub-recipient agreements that have been approved and funded by the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality. The budgets for those projects, there is not a single penny for administrative funds coming for administration for those 2 sub-recipient agreements. The engineer developed the budget, and in our discussion prior to submitting these applications in January, I said the county is already paying me for ARPA administrative fees. Do not have any funding under that budget coming from Washington County. The funds that have been invoiced to this county are coming from MDEQ through the match portion of the MCWI program. I feel very strongly that I'm entitled to that. I submitted the application. I have done all the work to date relative to the implementation. Again, if you do not feel necessary to approve me being paid, that's on this board.
Okay. All right, Ms.
Now, I got just a question.
I gotta get to
So
Ms.
I
I
was-
gotta get to Ms. Brooks.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now, let me ask this question.
On this Mr. Smith, on this item 5, the $7,000, where would that $7,000 come from to pay you?
He said MDQ.
When the budget for all of the grant applications that were submitted to MCWI, when they were submitted to them in January, there was one for Golden Acres, there was one for Winterville, Black Bayou, and there were some submitted back in September last year for Metcalf Leland, I believe. Now, as I just stated, when those budgets were developed, the project engineer, there are 2 budgets. There's a Washington County budget that's $260,000. There's an MCWI MDEQ budget for $260,000 for a total of $520,000. Check your record. I'm asking that you check your record. And do not allude or suggest that I've submitted anything to this board that's inappropriate.
You didn't answer my question. Where
What
is
is your
the
question?
$7,000? Is it coming from the
MDQ.
ARPA funds or
I
the state
just-
funds?
MDQ.
I just said that
it.
there
Oh,
were,
that's-
there
okay.
was a budget created for the submittal of those applications.
Okay.
There's $260,000 that this board has obligated. There's $260,000 that MCWI MDEQ matched.
Okay, so half of it's coming from the ARPA funds then, if that be the case.
None of my administration money is coming from Washington County.
So you said ARPA funds, not Washington County, but ARPA funds. So that's $7,000.
ARPA is the American Rescue Plan Act.
Or so is any of
ARPA
that coming from
funded,
that?
ARPA funded Washington County at $6.5 million, correct? $8.5 million. The legislature received money through the state. They established a grant program. Under your MCWI program, none of the money to pay me is coming from Washington County.
Any are coming from the ARPA funds.
It's coming from the state ARPA funds, absolutely.
Not from Washington County.
So from that $250,000 or $260,000, that's where the $7,000.
Absolutely.
None of it's coming from.
And that's the same, and this is, if you're gonna do it that way, then you shouldn't pay the engineer because part of their money is coming from ARPA too.
I'm coming to you.
They're not getting
Alright.
$180,000 out of the ARPA funds originally.
They get more.
Okay, let me do this. Let me hear from the attorney, and we're gonna wrap this up.
Mr. Smith,
Come on up to the mic, bro, we can't hear you.
Mr. Smith, let me just make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying that the 7,000 will come from the state ARPA funds, correct?
Absolutely.
Not, not from any part of the funds that are allocated by the county, but from the
Correct.
state ARPA funds. Gotcha.
If the county so decides, you know, I live in
Let
Washington.
me do this real quick, Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Let me do this real quick. Mr. Attorney, what's your recommendation?
Well, I'm, let me meet with Mr. Smith and get this clear.
Miss-
Okay.
No, Ms. Smith wanna be paid today. He wanna vote today.
You have to be paid today?
Yes.
I actually submitted
Smith.
an invoice on the
We-
14th,
All right, Ms. Smith.
and there's discussion about that
Ms.
invoice
Smith.
at this time. Yes, sir.
Oh, what you got? Yeah, he won't be paid today.
Okay,
What's your recommendation?
well, he can be paid, he's still under contract with us, and if there's a mistake in the payment, you can always recover the money anyway.
Okay.
So that would not be an issue, but, I just wanna make certain that the funds, as, you know, with clarity are coming from the state ARPA funds that the county receives, not from county ARPA funds.
All right, board, everybody comfortable?
No, I'm not
That's
until he
fine.
actually looks at it, so my vote will stay, rescind my vote will stand until I hear from
All
the
right,
attorney.
he's under contract. If there's an issue, we can always address it with the
Yes.
contract, through the contract. All right,
Number one.
you gotta let me move. You gotta let me move on. It's too
Yeah.
late. All right, I got a motion on the floor to allow the rescission on these minutes. You can allow that. But with
But
that,
it's too
but
old.
if only 2-3 is going to,
Well, let me explain the way it works.
3-2.
It's 3-2.
Okay.
I'm changing.
Go ahead, Ms.
Because-
Griffin.
Uh,
Tell me, we
because I
good?
see his point,
We
yeah.
good. Come on, Ms. Griffin.
There would have to be a motion to reconsider and to allow, those members who wish to withdraw their,
Okay.
vote to withdraw their vote.
That's your motion, Lee?
What's that?
Your motion to reconsider allow us to withdraw the votes? Yes.
To-
That's
to-
your motion.
To withdraw the
Yeah.
vote of what?
Of the yes to a nay, the yay to a nay.
Okay, but I'd have to get a second on that.
You gonna get it?
Okay,
All right, that's your motion?
good motion, yeah.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. I need somebody to give me a second. Second, I second it. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We gonna do aye.
Yeah,
All right. All opposed, nay. Give me the nays.
nay.
Nay.
All right, that's the 3-2. Yeah.
Mr. McGee,
Hey.
if I may, I would like to.
You got to
make
let me
a-
move on.
You're gonna
You got,
move on.
I am.
No, this is
Okay.
very
No.
important, Mr. McGee.
Let me finish now. Mr. Griffin, we've done this. So that payment stands, right?
Yes,
Now we need to prove the minutes.
Now we're gonna have to approve the
the
minutes.
minutes have not been approved?
No.
No.
No,
Out.
that is.
Okay.
All right. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
So
from the Special
moved.
call meeting and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. So Lee, go
These
ahead.
minutes will reflect that, right, Ms.
Let me
Hansel?
say this.
Yes,
On the
sir.
day.
I'll change.
May I say this?
Yeah.
With respect to minutes, okay, when you vote, the minutes become the law at that point.
All right.
Right.
You can vote to amend the minutes, but if there are only corrections in the minutes, the vote was based on a correct motion, okay? You can later move to reconsider that motion or the next month to place it on the agenda as new action.
Okay.
But you cannot change the minutes.
Okay.
So the minutes from the outset of this meeting should have been approved.
Understand. All right, so we've got it. I'm sorry, Ms. Hanson.
I'm sorry, so the minutes remain as they are.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, now we've got an invoice
How
from
would that
Mr.
reflect, but mine and Carl's vote will reflect in those minutes that we received?
Not in those minutes, but in today's
Okay,
minutes.
okay, gotcha.
What
All
you
right,
say?
Miss-
Today's minutes.
Today's minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Ms. Carter, you received invoices, right? And the board has voted for those to be paid. All right, we're good. All right, anything else? Ms. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your
Mr.
time.
Mr.
Ms.
McGee,
Smith.
I have stood here today and I feel as though I have been subjected to
Ms. Smith,
to questions
Mr.
and
Smith.
treatment that others do not enjoy.
Ms. Smith,
I have not witnessed anyone come before this board and receive a questionnaire, be questioned like this.
and that's fine.
It's fine, Mr. Gee, with you. It doesn't sit well with me.
And that's fine, Ms. Smith. What action you think is necessary is it, but I'm going to move this meeting on.
You
If
can
you would
move the
have your
meeting
seat,
on.
please, I'd
I will-
appreciate it.
I will put my comments in writing.
That's fine. All right. Where are we now? That was a minutes. We're ready to close out, right?
Yes,
Mr. Gordon, you good?
Yes.
Supervisor? Good? Supervisor Brooks?
No, I have,
Oh,
I have a comment. I want to officially thank all the voters in District 2 for their re-election of myself. And I want to thank them for their support of my leadership on this board. They've been kind and they deserve a thank you and a happy holidays. And they'll hear from me during Christmas. I got a Christmas happy for them all.
man, you know how many voters that is?
Yeah, I know.
All
I know
right.
what I'm doing.
Ms. Brooks?
I would like to also just recognize the month of November. Also,
That's right.
it's also the month of diabetes, and I just want people to just pay attention to know your numbers because
That's right.
diabetes is very, very high here in the Mississippi Delta.
That's right.
And just know what your numbers are because early detection is the key. The most important piece is we pay attention to our diet, also exercise, because with diabetes you can live. It's all about how you treat yourself, how your self-care, putting yourself first, ensuring that you're not having a large intake of sugar in your system. So the concern is just paying attention to what you eat, exercise, and again, self-care. Also, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. We're all thankful to be here. We got so much going on in our world, so let's look out to our neighboring friends. If any way we can just show love across the county and the state and the nation. Again, I'm wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Also, I want to thank everybody for their support in District 4. I received a lot of love, not only in District 4, but all through the county.
Yeah.
Just support from people asking me for another 4 years. And I intend to continue to work hard to find ways to improve and evolve Washington County to the next level. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Jerry?
I just wanna say we all wanna pray for the, ex-president's wife that passed away, Ms. Carter.
Oh,
I think she brought a very good point out about diabetes and the elderly people. It's just, it's a sad day that she went on, but she stayed in the B95, which on the top.
that's a blessing.
You know,
Amen.
All right. All right. Did we as a board decide when we're going to meet with the appointees for the Sportsplex board? Did we call a
I can
date?
do it anytime next week.
Anytime,
Pick-
next week.
Somebody need to pick a date.
Tuesday.
6 p.m.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
What day is, what's that date?
10 o'clock.
6? Oh, you mean in the morning?
Yes.
They may
Well, yeah,
work.
well, I mean,
In the
well,
evening.
some of them may work, I don't know.
Let's do it in the evening. Some of them may work.
What's pleasure?
Yeah.
10 a.m. in the
Six
morning or
I think
6
o'clock.
Mr. Mointe could
6
meet
o'clock
in
in
the
the
morning,
evening.
if all of y'all can meet in the morning,
in the morning.
yeah.
I know mine can meet in the morning.
I'm good.
But if you
I'm
want to
not
do,
sure.
well then
Your
let's do the
mind
evening to
can't.
be fair, because I
Well-
want to make sure everybody can come. So
Yeah.
let's do it at 5 or 6,
Yeah,
Y'all have to tell me.
because I want to be inclusive.
let's do it at 6,
6 is fine with
What's
me.
that date?
Tuesday.
The what?
I don't know.
28.
I can't see the
see it.
calendar.
Yeah, it's the 28th.
6 p.m.? All right, we'll make contact. Ms. Carter, we need,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Carter, we need all the contact information for the people who we've selected so far. All right. Sorry this meeting went on so long. Hopefully we should have been out of here in an hour,
Should
but
have been out.
yeah, but it's one of those days
You talk
again.
too much.
I'd certainly do. Come on, Mr. Attorney, we can wrap this up, man.
I just wanted to say, for the, those notes I gave, provided y'all
Yes,
in
sir.
writing, those are confidential notes, so please keep them.
Who
Yes,
got-
sir.
Who'd you get notes to?
Gave you
So
In
we need to
writing?
address that next meeting?
Yeah.
No, only if I get a written proposal.
Gotcha, yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh, man, that wasn't in right, that was in type. I saw that, I thought we were gonna discuss it. It's just an agreement we've got with, one of our tenants,
Yes.
and we'll recover that at the next meeting.
Cost estimate, yes.
Yeah.
We may have a proposal. If not, then we'll deal with it. Whenever we get the proposal, okay? I'm waiting on the proposal,
Okay.
okay?
If there's nothing else, I need a motion to recess until Tuesday the 28th at 6 p.m.
So move.
Oh,
Re-
sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna recess to 6 p.m. on Tuesday.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Redmond, you going to the field?
Hey,